back. It's Worldwide Wiggins, man. I got a special guest, brought him back, man. I had to bring him back, man. Mr. Ken Griffey, man. Mr. I'm from all of them, Raymond ass Prick, man. You know what I'm saying? Boy, baby CRAYZO back in the building, man. What's the deal, huh?
What's up, Wiggins? How you doing, man? Glad to get that face-to-face interaction, man. And sit down after our phone interview, man. I see you wanted to pull up on me, man. So you definitely pulled up, man, and we right here at ground zero.
All right, man. Can you tell them? Can we tell them where we at?
Oh, we in the 12 O's right now, man. We in West Athens district. You know what I'm saying? We can't necessarily get a specific location, but we in the turf though. We in the turf.
You know, they was loving that Crenshaw Mafia video, man. So I appreciate that, man. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully we get some more stories like that a little bit later on. But,
well, I ain't got too many getting past stories. A lot of stories, man, I can't really tell them on camera.
For sure. I dig it. Now, first things first, you know what I'm saying? You got a lot of trolls in the comments. They say, 10 Deuce is not really there no more, man. What you got to say to the troll? Because that was the number one question they asked you, man.
For real?
Yeah.
Tell them go over there and hang out and post up in the wrong color with the wrong hat on the seat.
Yeah, for sure. But, a lot of people don't know what happened behind the scenes with the gentrification and what's going on, the stadium and all of that. So if you could break it down for them.
Yeah. Street I grew up on and ran most of my teenage life. That's now where the Clippers play at. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that property was bought up by corporations and stuff. And if you go through the city of Inglewood now, man, a lot has changed. Just like I said to you in phone conversation, even in the bottoms, man, half of that stuff got tore down and rebuilt. They got restaurants and all that stuff over there. So a lot of things going on over there in the city of Inglewood.
And you think it was like, planned out? Because I've been hearing crazy stuff too, like sheriffs been having like a vendetta against the Raymonds to get him out of there.
That's true. The Inglewood police and Lenox sheriffs, man, definitely wage war on the homies, man. I have unfortunately multiple homies that was killed by Inglewood police and Lenox sheriffs, unfortunately.
Oh, damn. Rest in peace. We was just at Helen Keller Park. What do you think has changed from the 80s, up until now at Helen Keller Park?
Oh, well, the first thing is first, the park is definitely different than when I grew up in it. 83, 84, 85, playing Little League Baseball. The park is, completely different. For the better, though. For the better. A lot has changed. It's definitely more secure. I'll say that.
Now you on a new path, you know what I'm saying, to, you did what you did in the past, you got out, you know what I'm saying, you doing your business. Has your past ever caught up to you? Like, maybe somebody recognized you from like back then and been like, oh man, you still CRAYZO, man. Remember what you did?
That's crazy. Hey, that's a good question because you made me remember something probably about a year or something now. I was at the car wash one morning getting my car washed, and I happened to run into some Crenshaw Mafias. Actually, the homie Taco from Crenshaw Mafia.
What?
Taco a couple of years older than me, but he one of their G's from over there. Actually, I think he's the one responsible for taking the Crenshaw Mafias to Denver, if I'm not mistaken. He recognized me. I didn't recognize him. He was one of his young homies from Colorado, Crenshaw Mafia. He was saying he knew me. And I'm looking at him and I'm saying, all right, here we go. Where this going, right? And he was like, oh no, he said one of my other homies' name. I'm like, nah, man, I'm baby CRAYZO. He like, yeah, man, I see on YouTube. He said, man, all the shit you be spitting, it be good shit. Woo, woo. And, I'm still up because I don't know where this is going to go because usually Raymond's running the Crenshaw Mafias and so on and so forth. It just is what it is. But we happened to cross paths when we both was older, doing different things in life. And we sat there and chopped it up. But the funny thing about it, his little homie was with him and couldn't believe that damn, we sit, man, I hear his name, woo, woo. And, me and Taco was sitting there chopping it up. So if Taco see this, he gonna see it. He gonna remember that day we was at the car wash chopping it up.
For sure. That's cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, you mentioned your pops was a gangster, you know what I'm saying? And kind of like a Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet him later on in life?
What you saying, meet my pops later on in life?
Like, after, being in and out of jail, did you meet him again?
Yeah. Man, that's a great question. When I was younger, I had a way different opinion or feelings about my pops coming up, because me and him had friction or whatever. But later on in life, especially when I was locked up for that house, and I didn't really think I was going to ever come home again, but I was able to talk to Pops on the telephone, and I let him know I forgave him for all the stuff, you know what I'm saying, that happened and transpired, as far as me growing up as a teenager, whatever, us getting into it, me running away from home, wind up, being full-fledged in the set or whatever. But I know that was something that weighed heavy on him, as far as his conscience and things like that, and he cried, and he just told me he was sorry. And I understand, man, you can't pick your parents. You know what I'm saying? Those are just the vessels that are used to get you here on this earth, and nobody has a PhD in parenting. You know what I'm saying? You kind of learn as you go. So it took me to grow into my manhood for me to understand, you know what I'm saying, that he, didn't necessarily know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Some things were just placed right on his lap, and it was what it was. But no, me and Pops was cool. Pops now rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate him for meeting my mama, and you know what I'm saying, making me, so it's all good.
For sure. Like how much longer, like after your mom passed, did he pass away? Was it
no, mom's passed in 2010, 6 weeks before I came home, and Pops passed in 2016.
All right. Hey, rest in peace to your mom.
Appreciate it.
For sure. Do you think it was a turning point after you lost her? Like, I can't keep doing this. You know what I'm saying?
No. I was being exposed to the streets, man, at a young age. By the time I got out of prison, 2010, man, I was pretty much done as far as the gang banging thing. I mean, it was really not too much more for me to do as far as in the streets outside of being in support of especially my young homies. Because a lot of them, they don't know, they don't have too much guidance or whatever for lack of whatever. But I always wanted to be an example. You know what I'm saying? I was example for all the negative shit. So, on some positivity. Yeah. So, and that's why we here Ground Zero right now. I'm always pull up for my homies no matter what.
Nowadays, it's a lot of talk of multiple phase being ran back to back. Growing up in the golden era, the 80s and 90s, being a young reputable, have you ever experienced watching your homie run phase back to back?
Never in my life. My homie's not gonna run no phase back to back while I'm around. I come from the school and from the understanding of you run up on my homie, we're gonna whoop your ass. My homie can't lose. Now there are some times, and there's been plenty of times where homies just say, "No, man, I got it." And homie think he can win or whatever. And after you see him throw a couple of punches, back and forth, you're like, "Nah, man, it's taking too long," and you go handle your business. But no, my homie, if I'm around, man, my homie's not running no phase back to back. That just don't go that way. That don't go that way. If it's really that serious and y'all really need to take care of your business, okay, you have a fade. But my homeboy's not fighting 5 people and I'm right there. Now we might as well go on and get it on. Yeah, we not. No. That's unimaginable. I don't know about nobody else, but no, hell no.
And have you been in that situation before that you just described?
Well, no, I've never, man. Me and a homie that went in a court tank, or I even been in a court tank by myself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not fighting all y'all on y'all terms. I got a real situation where we was beefing with a particular neighborhood, and these fellas, from that neighborhood, they gonna know what I'm talking about. We was in a court tank, and I seen they was there, and it's like I just went on and got cracking on them. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, I got on one and the other one handled his business. You know what I'm saying? He got up on me. And shout out to my boy Rock B from Ludus Park, man. My boy Rock B, Ludus Park, man. He jumped in, and then aided me. You know what I'm saying? Because that was my dog, man. So shout out to him. But yeah, man, when it's up, man, ain't no, the first rule of war is there are no rules, man. I can't sit by and especially when I was gangbang. I no longer act a gang member now, but you just can't fight my homie in front of me. No, I don't go like that.
Being a real street nigga makes you popular, and the women love it low key. Did you mess with any of the enemy back in the day?
Yes, I did. But they didn't know who I was, though. yeah. They didn't know who I was. I'd introduce myself by my government name, and I'd act like I ain't know nothing about no gang banging or nothing, because I don't know who your brothers or your uncles are. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to bring you over. You follow what I'm saying? I don't care about none of that other stuff. But it's the streets and it's LA. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who nobody pops, uncle, or who nobody cousin is or whatever. When you see me, hey, how you doing? And I got a smile on my face, with my strap on me, and you know what I'm saying? I'm in and out. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah.
Did they ever find out later, like, oh, you mother?
I'm sure they did. But no, I never represented or walked in the door like I'm Baby CRAYZO from Raymond. No, that's crazy. You got to leave some type of mystery. You know what I'm saying? You can't put it all on Front Street.
What was it like entering the Crip module?
I actually never been to the Crip module that you're referring to in the 80s and all that stuff. I was in the Crip module in Inglewood when they had rebirthed it or brought it back up. But it was on and cracking in there. It was on and cracking in there. Not as vicious as it was back in those 80s and early 80s Crip module in the LA County Jail. It was nothing like that. It was way more secure and all that, but you could still get it in though.
All right. What was some of the hoods that you seen in there? And what was kind of going on?
Oh, every hood. Every hood. Yeah, every hood. For the most part, people come and go, court, release, arrested. People come and go. So you see a little bit of everybody.
All right. Whether in jail or on the streets, like, did people ever not know what you look like because your name was so big and like your name preceded you, so to speak?
No, if you didn't know me from jail, you would know who I was, because I didn't do too much hanging out and all that stuff. It was kind of be with my homeboys, and that's pretty much that. And if you seen me or whatever, unless you knew me from jail or seen me hanging on the block or something, you would know who I was. And the craziness about today's time and that time, like a bunch of us, that was of a certain mindset, for camera purposes. We didn't take a lot of pictures back in the days. We didn't want to be seen on camera and all that kind of stuff. So, when a person did find out who you was, now I remember for a long time, people thought I was about 6'3", 280 pounds, they look at me like, him, that's, what I'm saying? And that's just really what it was. But nowadays, being I'm walking a different path, I don't care who see my face or where they see me at. I'm on something positive.
For sure. That's what's up. Shout out to your big homies, OG Nug and Lil CRAYZO. Which one of your big homies would you say, okay, this is the big homie I wanted to be like? I laced my chucks up because of him.
Oh man, I got thousands of homies. Bogard, Baby T, Clayhead. I say Clayhead because the homie ain't with no YouTube stuff. So, and he actually from 12-0. So he was a person who raised me. The homie's gonna know who I'm talking about. Baby Bangy, countless homies. And outside of my homies, another set that I would say had a real big influence on my cripping was the Harlem 30s. The Harlems raised me up in the penal systems, man, and they was born and bred on traditional cripping, man. They played a major role in my cripping, man. So I got to give a shout out to the Harlems.
Who was some of the names from Harlem you remember from back then?
Oh man, Maxwell from Harlem, Lil Man from Harlem, my boy Rudy Roughhouse from Harlem, a whole bunch of Harlems, man.
I got an interesting question. All right,
Come on with it. Come on with it.
So you grew up in the golden era. So do you think that y'all had it easier because you could catch a body as a kid and get juvenile life and then come home versus now where they might stretch you?
Yeah, and not to glorify it, like I said, this interview is definitely want to give a positive, to positive ending or current life that I'm living now, and others like myself who been through the struggles, been through the wars. But back then there was no ring cameras and cameras on light poles and all that stuff. You can hop out broad daylight and get cracking. You know what I'm saying? Hop back in the car or going back around where you came from, and go do what you had to do and do the same thing tomorrow. Times were just different. Technology has really aided law enforcement. You know what I'm saying, and cracking down on some of these crimes, man. That's why you see, you could do a crime on Wednesday, and 3-4 days pass. Next thing you know, they're knocking on your door, but you thought you got away with it on Wednesday. Right. When they go frame by frame with this light pole and that light pole, they go right back where you came from and where you ended up at.
For sure. All right.
And let me add this too, Wiggins. It don't help when said parties involved get on the internet or get on Instagram and post about what they just did too. So a lot of times people aiding in their own incarceration.
I know Raymond's is Raymond's. You from all of them, but have you ever I don't want to say receive the past, but to where maybe an enemy of the 12-0, they like, all right, well, you from 10 Deuce, so we beef with Raymond's, but you from 10 Deuce, we really beef with the 12-0s. Any situation like that?
Yeah. That happens. You know what I'm saying? You will have a person to run across you, and he won't have a certain energy for you because you are from Pasadena or 120th Street or 102nd Street. But you let them know that I'm from all of them. You know what I'm saying? Because if you running across people that may have some funk with one of your homies, you got to remember, y'all go to the same parties, same funerals, picnicking and politicking together. Now all of a sudden you in jail, and you happy that he said he don't got a problem with 120th Street. He got a problem with Pasadena. Nah, Raymond is Raymond, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We talked about some of your homies that, were straight hogs out here. You feel me? And we talked about Bogard, but I'm hearing you got homies that was 10 times worse than Bogard.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Big Nugget is one of them. Y'all familiar with Big Nugget off Care Back videos, man.
You say Nugget was worse than Bogard.
What? Yes, Bogard is the next step to the next step to the next step. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then so on and so forth. Like, it's young homies running around here that, you know what I'm saying, of that same cloth, in 2025. You know what I'm saying? So in every generation, you're going to have hogs, and you're going to have multiple hogs from each side. It don't matter.
What about Neckbone, bro?
Oh man, Neckbone, that's the big homie, man. That's the big homie. Neckbone is a special individual. Actually, Neckbone is he started the Tongue and Crips. Those are his nephews, cousins, brothers, and all that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when you say Tongue and Crip and Raymond Crip, it's all one and the same. You know what I'm saying? Because we got Tonguers that's straight Raymonds. They not from Tongue and Crip. They from Raymond, but those are their sons and brothers that's from Tongue and Crip. So it's all the same.
For sure.
But Neckbone is different, man. Neckbone and Bogard, they can be father and son, man.
Can you tell us how the tongue thing? I know they seen it on other channels, but how the tongue thing came to be, how Neckbone was able to start it.
That's a question that could be answered on Gangbangers Life Coach. My homie Lil CRAYZO, he got a YouTube channel, and Neckbone has some interviews over there where he breaks all that down. So he'd be best served to, get those own words out of his own mouth.
All right, that for sure. I need to know, how did Nugget get Bogard to turn Raymond? Like how did he do it?
I don't know. That's a question, man, for Big Nug, man. Matter of fact, when we off camera, man, I'll call Nug and I'll let him tell you, you know what I'm saying, in his own words, how he got Nugget to turn, because those are my big homies. Yeah, that happened before my time.
For sure. All right. That. All right. Speaking of stories, was it true that Raymond's was Denver Lane's first enemigos?
That would be me speaking from a Denver Lane perspective, and I couldn't do that. I can't say that the Raymonds are Denver Lane's first enemy because I'm not from Denver Lane. You know what I'm saying? All I know is Denver Lane, when the formulation of Crip and all that, they were anti-Crip. So I would believe anything Crip was Denver Lane's first enemy. You know what I'm saying? Since they were anti-Crip.
All right. All right. Is it true that the person that drew Shrek was from Raymond?
I'm not up on that. Let me ask my little homies. Do y'all know about that?
It's my first time hearing that.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. You got me with that one, Wiggins. You got me with that one, Wiggins. Nephew, what's up? Hey, you got me with that one, Wiggins. You got me with that one.
Was there any Crip hoods in Inglewood or nearby that was out back then that's not there today?
The Myrtle Street Crips or Myrtle Street Gangsters. I think it was Myrtle Street Gangsters. A bunch of them turned Raymond, H-Ray Gangsters, stuff like that, because they preceded the Raymonds. The Myrtles, the Doty Crips. Doty Crips was in the same section as 10 Deuce Raymond is now. Who else? Those are two that I could definitely for sure that was mainstays in Inglewood, prior to the 10 Deuce Raymond. Doty Crips and Myrtle Gangster Crips.
What happened with the Doty thing? Like, how did
it when Nugget came and the other big homies came, those gangs got absorbed. 10 Deuce Raymonds, and then people move or whatever, they might turn to the hood or whatever, but Myrtles and Doty's kind of merged into what is now known 10 Deuce Raymond.
All right. Do you remember the 111 Inglewood Legends?
Yeah, absolutely. All absolutely. Right. Absolutely. I have a strong history with them, especially the initial legends, those legends that are, say, from 48 to 53 and so on and so forth. Like, yeah. I remember when a couple of dudes that wasn't legends, actually, when that first started, they was the main reasons why a bunch of people are from Legend. I got a real good history with them, in those beginning stages, those late 80s, early 90s. My homie Lil C-Boy, rest in peace, from Legend. We used to be all in the motel serving all night. Big C-Wack, the homie MD, Lil JB, man, a bunch of them. But I grew up with them dudes.
Is there any other Raymond hood besides the Pasadena, 12-0, and 10 Deuce? As far as so
in the greater Los Angeles area, yeah.
Well, besides what you call it,
the Pico Rames. Yeah. I was gonna say the Pico Rames in West LA, where the Mansfield Gangsters are currently at. The homies had a real big presence over there, and it was a bunch of people that wound up being Pico Raymons. Homies used to hang in Cerritos and all that stuff back in the days, but not nothing that stuck outside of the Pico Raymons.
All right. Day not here, man.
Y'all know what Day at, man. Day was supposed to pull up.
But what can you tell us about his brother, man?
The homie Bardog?
Yeah, for those who don't know.
Oh, man, Bardog was super cool, man. I remember meeting Bardog when I was about 10 years old, man, playing Little League Baseball in Keller Park. Bardog was super cool, man, a solid big homie. And, unfortunately, the homie lost his life. You know what I'm saying? I believe that was maybe 89. I believe, I'm not mistaken, early 90, maybe 89. I think it was 89. But no, Bardog was straight. Bardog was a player type. You know what I'm saying? Had a bunch of women. You know what I'm saying? Hope none of the women get mad at me when they see this. But no, Bardog was the homie. Rest in peace. Definitely one of the more famous Raymonds from the set.
Speaking of what you just said, to where some people fall in line with the truth, some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel like you should go about it to where the little homie's like, man, big homie, I ain't feeling that?
Well, you gonna have that. There's gonna be some people that's gonna be in support of peacing and having truth, but for the most part, the majority, they ain't gonna be with that, because this was predicated and bred on violence and beefing and being the best and being the ultimate. Back 80s, 90s, ain't nobody peacing with nobody. It's on. You know what I'm saying? But now, how times have changed far as life, and how black people are at such a disadvantage economically, it would behoove you and be in the best interest to make peace. But if it just can't happen, it just can't happen. And that don't mean nobody's right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes peace can be broached to the young homies, and sometimes it can't. There's a particular neighborhood, man, that recently peace was made with another set. I won't get into specifics. And when that happened, a bunch of young homies was in resistance. You know what I'm saying? But cooler heads prevailed, and so on and so forth, and then happened. But I also told my young homies, there's another hood. I won't even never come talk to y'all about peacing with them dudes, because you know a particular young homie lost his life, and he was near and dear to those homies, and I wouldn't dare. You know what I'm saying? That's on them when they want to stop that, because it is what it is, and the homie was beloved like that. So I always want to shed light on that. Sometimes people are gonna be with it, sometimes they not. I just recently, and a couple of my homies are standing around off camera right now. I just recently was talking to them, and you know, if gang members and gang bangers are on their job doing what they do, peace can never be broached. Peace is only broached when you're not doing what you claim your job description is, and that's just what's real. I can't go make peace with the people across the street if somebody just got their head blew off last night. Right. Now, if it ain't happened for 6 months or a year, okay, why you think these people talking about peace? Y'all ain't doing nothing. Right. On both sides. It don't matter who the sets are. Ain't nobody gonna make peace with somebody who just got killed last night, right. Or 2 weeks ago. Right. If ain't nothing happening in 8 months or a year. So when peace get broached, now all of a sudden, oh no, we ain't with them dude, we ain't no, let's just stay beef. But you ain't been doing nothing though. See, it's gonna make sense. It's gonna be self-explanatory. For sure. And that's how that goes.
All right. Why do Raymond's beef for everybody, man? Because
from my understanding, Raymond's gonna beef with everybody, man. All that with Raymond's beef with everybody, I don't know about all that, you know.
You never thought you was coming home?
Yeah. When I got in trouble 2005, I thought it was over with.
How did you prepare for that, man? And how did you feel? One, and how did you feel when you like, I'm finna come home?
Being in that county jail and the circumstances I was caught under, evidence against me and all that, it was what it was, and it was just basically time to gangbang. You know what I'm saying? Once trial started, I went to trial, got a hung jury, and they was offering me 21 years, and I wasn't taking no 21 years. Right before I picked the second jury, they offered me another deal for 11 years. I contemplated that, and we went to go pick the second jury for the second trial, and they came at me with 6 years, and for a manslaughter. And shit, I had been in the county already 2.5 years, so I hurried up and took it. But in the process of all that, one night, I'm in the county jail. I'm in one of them modules, man. I think I'm on the 3004, probably 3638. And I just looked around, man, and said to myself, like, damn, this really it. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna be doing this the rest of my life, you know? And man, I got on my knees and prayed. I said, God, man, if you get me out of this one, man, I promise, man, I ain't coming back to jail for killing no more of my people because they wear another color or they from a rival set of the Raymonds. Now, as far as threatening my friends or my family and anything like that or disrespect anything, that's going to go how it's going to go, you know, without hesitation. But so that's why I sit here present day. Yeah, I'm in support of my homeboys, whether they're gang banging or not gang banging, trying to get a job, trying to drive a truck or whatever. I'm in support of my homeboys. But I walk amongst my homeboys being an example that you could do something else. It is possible. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to go through some shit. Yeah. That's why when I run across my young homies, make sure you do your push-ups, do your burpees, because I hear it's cracking in that county jail. Stay down, don't tell. Right. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, and everybody got to go through something. So I'm not the person that, because I don't sell dope no more, I'm going to call the police on the dope dealers. Nah, we don't do that. That's still my people.
Right, exactly. We got an epidemic going on, man, you know, in the hood nowadays, you know, people telling on people, and then they still walking around, you know.
Woo, Wiggins, you getting to it now.
Yeah, I got
no problem. Great question. Come on, let's go.
How do we solve this problem, man? Because it's selective politicking. Well, he ain't tell on me, you know, or that's my cousin, or, you know, well, shit, he a killer, man. I ain't finna say nothing to him.
Wiggins, historically, and I said this on 16 to Life when 16 to Life was interviewing me. Historically, with our people, telling, snitching, aiding the DA, aiding the police, assisting them build a case against any of your friends or anybody for that matter is treason. There was the Underground Railroad. It was in secrecy. It was to free our people. It was to help. And those who told, you know what I'm saying, they were frowned upon, ostracized. So it's traditional with our people to not tell. You know, we don't fold, we don't bend, we don't break, and we don't tell. How could you, in good conscience, tell on your friend or tell on your homeboy? You take your lick.
Right.
If you the only one get caught and it was 3 of y'all in the case, then you the only one to take that case. Your other 2 homies gonna look out, or at least they're supposed to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the job, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. You know what I'm saying? You don't all of a sudden help no police against your friend. Okay, you scared. Daddy wasn't around to fortify your manhood. You kind of had to learn the ropes on your own. Your mama raised you, and all the emotions she poured into you is now coming out because you scared to death. You in that holding cell. Your immediately thing is holla mama, I want to come home. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of people do. But when you got good upbringing, you know what I'm saying, and you got a father who was present or some uncles who was there, you have some solid big homies to raise you the right way. You're not doing no telling. That's not what we do. You don't tell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I went back to the beginning, to history, because telling has always been a detriment to our people.
Right.
Period. You don't help no police. Do nothing. They the enemy. They go through every hood. They wreak havoc, terror, and everything else. So you get in trouble. Now you want to help them against your friend?
Right.
That's crazy.
Real talk.
When did you come to the realization that, you know, ultimately gangbanging was a genocide on our people, and this thing could no longer be, man?
I was on the phone one day with one of my big homies in the county jail. I was still fighting my case, and the big homie, he ain't with the YouTube stuff, so I ain't gonna say his name. But if he see this, he gonna know the conversation. He asked me, he was like, "Baby, CRAYZO, homie, you know you had enough yet?" And I'm like, "Homie, what you talking about?" You know, cause I'm right in, you know, in stride with the gang thing. I'm in my prime, so to speak, as far as the gang thing or whatever. And I'm like, "Man, what you talking about?" He like, "You know, now you in jail, you know what I'm saying? You in the high one, you know what I'm saying? The shit finally, you know, caught up with you again. You know, when does it stop, homie? You've been full-fledged, 13, 14 years old, you know what I'm saying? Just been one way solid, raised by the best of them, whatever, you know what I'm saying? You've always been straight. But when do it stop?" And at that moment, man, I really had to reflect on some things on what the big homie was telling me, because he actually, my real big homie, solid individual, represents the turf. And I know he always got my best interest at heart. And I had to give it some thought. You know, I got off the phone with him, you know, even though I'm right in the midst of the county jail, you know, with all the stuff going on in there. But that's when the seed was planted, you know what I'm saying? And then ultimately, I wind up, you know, finishing up with my case, whatever, getting sentenced to prison, and wound up in reception in Delano, and the homie Lil Brains from 111. Shout out my dog, Lil Brains, man. Only thing I don't like about him is he a Raider fan. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, you know, he don't even know what winning football is like. Don't edit that out either, Wiggins. You know what I'm saying? Raider killer all day, Denver Broncos for life. That's what it is. But no, me and the homie Lil Brains from 111 neighborhood was in the cell together. And actually, Lil Brains had wound up catching a case, a drug case or whatever. The homie sits home off parole and all that stuff. He got more time for his case, then I actually got, for me wind up pleading guilty to a manslaughter.
That's crazy.
But we used to always talk about it. He was like, man, CRAYZO, you got blessed, homie, because he remembered it. It was a real big, type situation, whatever, over here on our side of town. And I just woke up one morning in reception. I told homie Brains, man, that's it, homie, I'm done. Because it goes back to the conversation I had with the big homie. And I said to myself, and I wrote a couple of my young homies letters that was already in the county jail. I left in the county, was in prison or whatever. And I said, if I can be example for you in a negative light, or what is deemed to be negative for us gangbanging or whatever, I could still represent Raymond on a positive aspect by going out here and being productive and not disrespecting the game, so to speak, for us being able to come home after such a serious case, for homies that's still in prison, fighting for dates and things like that, that helped raise me and still in jail under those life sentences. Shout out the young homie Big Cool, the homie Baby T, the homie Big Ben Dog, Lil Whack, Lil Stacks, you know what I'm saying? Countless homies, you know what I'm saying? That would be real disrespectful of me to pretty much get a slap on the wrist for my crime and then get back out with the same thing. So ever since I went home 2010, man, I still mess with my homies, still function with them, but I'm on grown man time, CEO now, businessman, taking care of a family, you know what I'm saying, and just being me and still able to pull up as we sitting right here ground zero and still politicking and chop up game with my young homeboys.
So, while being locked up, were you ever approached by some of the, prison, politics, like maybe the Blue Notes, or, they ever say, hey, man, you elite, we want you here?
Well, I don't consider myself elite. I just follow the job description. And I ain't did nothing that nobody else ain't done. And I even got a real young homie sitting off camera, man. I look at myself as him. You know what I'm saying? But I don't consider myself that. But at the same time, your reputation precedes you, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? As people know. But as far as the prison gang thing, I've never been personally approached. I've never joined up with a prison gang and nothing like that. It's funny that you asked me that, because me and Lil CRAYZO was in reception in 1996. And I can remember the big homie telling me, man, you don't go, you know what I'm saying, do whatever with a prison gang. No, you don't need to do that. And I never really understood why the homie told me not to, because a lot of our G homies and some young homies also, that's kind of our birthright, so to speak, as far as, hooking up with certain quote unquote prison gangs or one of the more prominent ones. But I myself, had never forgot that the big homie told me not to. For whatever his reasons were, I don't know. But I just took his word as law, and that's what it was. But so no, for the record, I am not a part of any prison gangs, nor have I ever, been, and that's just pretty much that.
I know, being a Crip, you probably, can't really speak on it, but, the Bloods look down on they homies that turn UBN or, the prison gang. Do you look down on Crip homies that get indulged in these kind of, Blue Notes or whatever?
No, structure is needed in anything that you do. You could have a regular present day 9-to-5 job. There's still a code of conduct and code of ethics that you have to agree to even make this place run, so to speak. Structure is good for everybody. People have structure inside their own homes. Your parents have rules and regulations. And there's nothing wrong with that. You either raised up to be a great kid or you raised up to be a kid with no guidance. And you can see those who have fathers in the homes present day, because a lot of people running around now, they have zero conflict resolution skills. And you get that from your father, not your mother. You can tell those who didn't have a father in the home because they function on emotions. First thing they do when they run into conflict, they don't know how to act. First thing they do is pull out a gun. Well, you get that from your mom, function on emotions. But if you have a father, you can look a man in the eye and not raise your voice and talk respectfully and come to some type of resolve. You know what I'm saying? So structure is always needed in anything, but absolutely not have I ever frowned upon anybody that was up under any type of structure or organization or anything. My thing is we've always looked at it on our side of the fence, or especially in the Raymonds, as a rite of passage, so to speak. That's the elite of the elite. So no, there's no negative undertones, that I know of, and I personally never had none.
One more thing, somebody said something. They said that a lot of the what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of the mannerisms and some of the pastimes, for lack of a better word, came from the Raymonds that we use today in the prison system or the jail system. Do you know about that? Somebody said
I started going to jail real young, so I was always around people older than me, big homies, G homies, and you just emulated what you saw. And I come from an age and an era where elders and big homies wrapped their arms around young homies and taught them the right way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about not loving a homie. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't understand where a person, these 4, 5, 6 people hang out with each other and they don't interact with the other 5 or 6 people, but they all from the same hood. I don't participate in that, and that's why I say when people say I'm from 102nd Street, I kind of like, nah, man, I represent all of them. You're not running across me. The first thing I say is I'm from 10 Deuce Raymond. No, I'm from Raymond Crib. You know what I'm saying? When I was an active gang member, I'm not that anymore, but I'm just speaking on the past lifestyle and giving it to you all uncut. We was on the 2000 floor back in like 06, 07, something like that. And like I was saying, the homie was like that. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff you see present day on the internet now, the homie was like that as a young homie. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't no cameras around. The homie was about his stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about, him losing a fade or winning a fade or nothing like that. I just know for a fact, from my experience, the homie was about that. And he don't need me to vouch for him and no other homies to vouch for him. But as far as the question, yeah, the homie was like that when I ran across him.
How do you feel when you see people trying to discredit him, like, man, he turned up for the camera, you know what I'm saying? Because you seen it firsthand.
Yeah, well, there's always going to be discrepancies, haters, naysayers, you know what I'm saying? Some people going to have different accounts of how some things maybe went. But until things can be proven otherwise, you got to take a man at his word.
Speaking of that, so... man, are you looking to do a Tubi movie, a documentary, or, you know what I'm saying? You got to do something, man. You can't leave this world with nothing, man.
Well, I mean, my Tubi and documentary, man, is pretty much documented now on S.WigginsTV. I done Kev Mac, I done 16 to Life, been on there with Spider Love, Most Easty, Spider something else with his interview. He just threw me on the live the other day. But shout out to the homies, you know what I'm saying? But no, man, I'd rather leave my legacy, man, behind the scenes, especially with my young homies. I try to support them any way I can, you know what I'm saying?
But you wouldn't like to see maybe a biopic, maybe somebody playing CRAYZO, or maybe a script or some shit you've been through?
Man, listen, check this out. If somebody came with some money, I'd do a comedy show for them. You understand what I'm saying? If the bag right, man, we can do whatever, man. But no, I would love to do something actually with my homies. I got some homies who be rapping. Matter of fact, somebody that you're familiar with, you ran across him online, the homie Westside Ribbit, man, him, Nutbone, the homies from East Coast. They be rapping, doing their thing. But yeah, man, I would definitely love to do something with them. I'm trying to get Westside Ribbit to get in front of the camera, but he ain't doing it right now. He on his gangbang tip, man. For the record, yeah, man, Westside Ribbit an active gang member, man. I just want to say that.
We gonna end it on this one, man. That waterfront Paul Root story, man.
Yeah.
You got something else like that, man, that you could tell us?
Man, I got a fight story, Wiggins, man, and I hate to disappoint you, little bro, man, but That story's supposed to come out on Kev Mac videos. That story's supposed to come out on Kev Mac videos. But on the flip side, because a lot of people always ask me, maybe CRAYZO, why you don't tell stories when you and such was fighting and all that? Because it was kind of a one-sided fight and people got grandkids and stuff like that. And I ain't gonna never disparage or embarrass nobody online and nothing like that. So I pretty much shy away from them kind of stories.
All right, for sure, man. Well, CRAYZO, man, much love, man. You know, I always tell you thanks for everything, man. The alley-oops, you know what I'm saying? All of the tips you gave me, man, the way you treated me, bro. You did more for me than some of the homies, you know what I'm saying?
Don't even trip, Wiggins. It's all love, bro. It's all love.
Much love. Thanks a lot, man. Salute. Raymond's and all that. World famous. WigginsTV.
I can't wait till we do it again, Wiggins, man. It got to be greater next time, man. All the way.
All right. For sure. Yeah.